Hey everybody, so welcome back. Today I wanted to do a short natural nail kind of abstract design. I really haven't been in the mood to wear really long nails lately. I did while I was on vacation, but now I just feel like I want to get back to the natural nails a little bit more. If you don't know my nail journey, I started wearing nails in August of 2020 when a lot of people either started wearing nails because they were home and were trying them out themselves, or when they were kind of taking a break from going to the salon and kind of playing around at home. Now, I have not really had any time since then that I have not had any form of nail product on my nails, whether it is something like this or a full-on acrylic extension. But lately I feel like I just want the quicker options and want nails that I don't really have to think about, because when you do have long nails, even if you are a long nail baddie, you definitely know that you have to protect them and be mindful of them. Even when you're used to them, you get to a point where you really don't notice them as much as when you first started wearing long nails, but you definitely still have to be mindful of them in just day-to-day things. So I really feel like I wanted a more low maintenance option lately, so I'm going in and trying to jazz up a natural nail design, because usually when I do short nails I tend to go for a solid color, which is kind of boring, although it looks really clean and I like that my cuticles are cleaned up. I definitely just don't get inspired as much when I have just a simple design like that, so I'm trying to go a little out of my box for the short nail designs. So for this look, I started off with some Young Nails Protein Bond. I am now going in with the new Young Nails Base Gel Coat. I'm using this just as a protective layer for the most part, just so that I have a little bit of product down before I go in with any colored product. I personally do this regardless on if I'm doing like a nude or a white, or if I'm doing a bright color. Once I have that placed, I'm going in with one coat of the V Beauty Pure Milky White Rubber Base Gel. I want this as kind of a background for some of my nails, but I don't want them to start looking really thick because I have some other products that I'm going to be going in with after this. So I'm only doing one coat. That'll also help keep it pretty sheer, so it's not as opaque as like a traditional like white. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this to all of my nails, even ones that I'm going to cover with another gel color, because this will add a little bit of thickness and a little bit of strength. My nails are so short, there's no extension on them. The only kind of extension point is a little bit of free edge because I have extended hyponychiums on all of my nails from wearing them long so often. But definitely I would recommend, if you're using like a rubber base gel, go as short as you are comfortable with, because this really isn't meant for extensions. So once I have that placed, I'm going to go ahead and do a full cure. Again, when I cure my polish layers, I tend to like to do a full 60 seconds. Some people will do 30 just to freeze it in place while they work on the other nails. You can do what's comfortable to you, although I will recommend, if you're using colors like whites, definitely try to go for the 60 seconds if you can, because the lighter the color, the more reflective it's going to be, and the more reflective it is, the harder it is for the light to penetrate and fully cure it. So it's just better off to try to start off with the 60 seconds and then do more if needed. But once I have all that cured, I'm going in with my Not Polished Cat Eye. This is a really fun ocean blue color. I really like this because I feel like it gives kind of that wintry vibe when you pair it with that milky white shade. So I am doing a base layer of my cat eye first. This is a trick that I just recently saw some people do on Instagram. So I'm going in and applying one layer, and then I'm basically taking the magnet to almost kind of deactivate the particles to just make it just one smooth color underneath. You can see that there is still some reflectiveness and cat eye effect to it, but it's definitely very minimized with the way that I applied the magnet. Now the goal for this is to just try to have it as like a base layer or a background to make the color opaque. You're not really focused on doing the actual cat eye design yet, especially especially when you get into some like funky cat eye designs, like if you're doing swirls or stars or hearts or whatever you're getting into, the more intricate it is, the more likely it is to kind of pop through if you magnetize this first layer. So definitely try to demagnetize it as best you can, and then you can go ahead and do your next layer and actually get the effect that you want. So now I'm going in with that second layer, making sure I fully cured in between that last one and this one, and I'm going to do my effect. So the way that I do this is I kind of like swirl back and forth on the outer edges of my finger. So I kind of go along the front free edge first, and then I go along each side. I kind of twist my finger around so that I can see what the effect looks like in the light, and once I'm happy with it, I go ahead and cure immediately. Cat eye is a type of product that I don't try to do more than one finger at a time. If you're doing clients, this is okay because you can just go back and forth in between hands. On yourself, it does take a little bit longer, but I definitely feel like when you're working with cat eyes, once you have the design the way that you want it, you really don't want to give it time to kind of self-level back into other areas and have those particles kind of move into an effect that you're not happy with. So definitely once you have the effect, go ahead and cure it. The other reason for this is if you're working on nails that are really close together, say you're not working on two sides of the hand, you can potentially demagnetize or change the effect on the nails that are next to the one you're working on. So that also can affect your overall like design and the look that you're going for. So that's another reason that I just recommend curing each individual one as you go when you're working with cat eye. Once I'm done with that, I'm going in with my DND polish. This is a clear base with some silver chunky like holographic particles in it. It has like multiple different sizes. When I work with polishes like this, I find that the best way is to get one pretty thick layer on, and then you kind of start swiping it away to kind of disperse those particles where you want and get rid of any excess gel. This just helps kind of make sure that there are an even layer of glitter or mylars or whatever's in that all over the nail. And because it's gel, you can go in, as you can see me do here a little bit, apply a little bit more and kind of push those glitters into place if you want more coverage in some areas. I do find sometimes the glitter or mylar particles will kind of clump together, so this is helpful if you just want to make sure that all the areas are covered evenly. Once I'm done with that, I do go ahead and cure that layer, and now I'm going in with my Not Polish Chrome and Pigment palette, as well as my Chaun Legend Black Gel Polish. Chaun Legend's polish is actually chrome ready, so I'm going in and doing kind of some abstract designs over top of my pointer and my middle finger. These are the areas that I have that white and like silver particle design. I definitely wanted to add something over top, although the glitter is really pretty on its own. I wanted to go for some of these kind of like abstract nail designs that I've been seeing all over YouTube and Instagram. I'm not somebody who tends to do designs like that, so it was really fun for me to do, and I felt like it was simple enough to do on my natural nails without it being like difficult to do on such a small like nail base, because definitely when you're doing like long extensions, it is easier to do certain designs. So sometimes as you grow shorter, designs become a little bit more complicated because you're trying to work on such a small area. But these kind of abstract designs I feel like can work no matter what your nail length is, so I definitely want to try to get into doing more of them. So once I have that gel polish, I do cure it for a full 60 seconds. I don't know if he recommends 30 or 60. I did it for 60 because I always worry about under curing gel, so I did do the 60 and then go in with my silver chrome. I do use like an old e.l.f. eyeshadow brush for this. I only use it for this purpose. Obviously once it got used for my nail stuff, I don't use it on my eyes anymore, but I do use this as my kind of applicator for my chrome. I feel like it works really well, and then I don't have to worry about like disposing of those little eyeshadow applicators, like the sponge tip ones, every time I do chrome, because I feel like those get hard to keep track of, and then I feel like they get really messy and you can't like mix and match chrome powders because then it'll just be all on the sponge and you'll need to get a new one. So the brush I feel like is more sanitary and helps me do multiple different chrome designs with only one applicator instead of having to keep track of 75 sponge tips. Hopefully that is helpful. So definitely do whatever application method you do for your chrome. Because the DND glitter polish cured with a very like non-tack finish, I didn't go in with anything prior to doing my chrome powder, and I didn't have any issues with it sticking to areas I didn't want it to. But definitely you can go ahead and buff over top of that gel polish if you just want to play it safe, or if you're using a different product and you're not sure if the chrome is going to stick, because we are doing more of an isolation chrome design. Now, once I'm done with that, I go ahead with my Ultimate Finish Gel from Young Nails, and I do go ahead and top coat those nails. I do it twice and cure for a full 60 seconds in between. Now, for my ring finger, I lost some footage, so I do apologize because I'm not quite sure where it went. I think I might have didn't hit record when I was doing this section, but I just did a couple of little line designs on my nail in each corner, and I went ahead and chromed those. But before I did the application of the black gel polish, I did go in with a matte gel top coat, because the not polished cat eye does not cure with a non-tack finish. It does have a slightly sticky layer, so if I didn't do the matte coat or buff it first, the chrome is going to stick to the blue areas and not only the black, which is what I wanted it to do, so that I could have that isolated chrome look. So yeah, so once I have that and I apply my chrome, I will go ahead and add some jewel effects and my top coat. So I did one layer of top coat to start, and then I added some of my Makartt rhinestone glue, and I'm using some Amazon jewels, and I'm just applying those to the areas that I want. So I did a couple in the corner on my ring finger, in the center by my cuticle on my pinky, and then in the corner of my thumb I did like a little cluster, and I used my Makartt rhinestone gel glue for all of these. And once you have this, you can go ahead and top coat, which you'll see me do in a second. And I'm using the same Young Nails Ultimate Finish gel top coat for this. If you are worried, because on some of the nails I already have a top coat placed when I did the Makartt rhinestone gel glue, you can go in and buff over the top of the nail just to kind of rough it up a little bit, to give it a little bit more texture for the rhinestone glue to adhere to. I don't wear my nails very long. I only wear them for about a week, maybe a week and a half. So for me, I don't necessarily worry as much about my rhinestones falling off. So this was fine for me, but if you do worry about that, or you're wearing your nails for a longer period of time, definitely go ahead and buff over that top coat layer before you go in with the Makartt glue, just because it'll help them stay on and adhere longer. And when I do my top coat, I also go over the rhinestones. I don't use really expensive ones. These are really cheap ones that I get off of Amazon, and some of them, the kind of mirrored shiny effect on it is more of like a foil, so it can rub off or wash off as you just go about your day and you're using your hands and washing them and all that. So applying the top coat actually helps protect that from rubbing off, so that it stays shiny the entire time that I'm wearing the gems. But also applying the top coat for me also helps make sure that the gems stay on, even without having roughed up that bottom layer. So, you know, for me it works out, but if you don't like the effect of having the gel over top of the gems, you don't have to do it. Just take a small brush and go around each area, so that you get the gel kind of surrounding the gem, and then you can go ahead and cure like normal. Once I'm done with this, that is it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was really fun for me to do. It really spiced up my natural nail design, and I really enjoyed that because I like having fun, funky nails, but I don't always love the time it takes to do full-on like long acrylic extensions. So this was a nice happy middle. Definitely thumbs this up. Let me know if you want to see more designs like this in the future. Subscribe to my channel to see more. Check out some of my other videos and comment down below. Let me know what's your favorite designs and your favorite colors to wear for the winter season. Other than that, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye everybody.